So I was born in Yugoslavia, which is Eastern Europe. I was there until about 10. There was a big war, the Bosnian, Croatian, Serbian war. And we bounced around a little bit from village to village, ended up in a refugee camp for a couple years in Croatia. While we were there, we were doing our paperwork to come to America through the help of the Catholic Charities. And then in 1997, we were approved and we flew here to Harrisburg, which was one of the main cities for Croatian refugees. We were very poor. We grew up in a village, so we didn't have any money to begin with. We came here, I think they said they had about $20, $30 in their pocket. And we stayed with the Catholic Charities for about 3 months. They gave us an apartment, paid for it for about 6 months. They helped my grandparents and my uncles get jobs. My grandparents really didn't have any skills, so all they did was labor jobs. My grandfather worked at Patriot News, and he was a painter on the side on the weekends. My grandmother worked at a small computer microchip company, and she also cleaned houses on the weekends. When I came to America, I didn't know any English, so I really didn't have many friends to start off with, but by middle school and high school, I was more fluent in English. Started picking up wrestling and football just because my friends were doing it. Ended up doing really well in both sports and played some college football. So I attended Temple University from 2005 to 2007, walked on the football team, ended up receiving a scholarship until I had a serious knee injury and unfortunately lost my scholarship. I love training, personal training, I love weightlifting. I took the time and actually got certified as a personal trainer. And the way I met my mentor, restaurateur, Nick Lausch, when I started in-home personal training, I didn't really know anybody, I didn't have many clients. So what I did is on my slower days, I would just pick a street and hand out flyers to businesses, gas stations. Ended up stopping at this place called Italian Pizza and Subs. Dropped off the flyer. A couple days later, this guy called me. He was like, "Hey, I saw your flyer in my pizza shop." I had no idea how big of a restaurateur he was. We set up an appointment. Ended up training this guy for a couple years at his house. We actually became really good friends. He became my workout partner. And then I wanted to make some extra money, so I wanted to learn how to bartend. So I can work during the day as a personal trainer and bartend in the evenings. I was making really good money, a lot of cash, but I was getting tired of working 3 jobs. I saw how successful Nick was, and I told him that I would love to do something with him. Out of nowhere, he calls me, and he's like, "Hey, this bar that closed down is for sale with the liquor license and 6 apartments and the restaurant." He was like, "Do you still want to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." We bought the building with the apartments, the liquor license, but we had no idea what we wanted to do. So we kind of just brainstormed. He was big into bringing in concepts that were not in Harrisburg, they were big in bigger cities like New York, Philadelphia. Burger joints like Shake Shack, BurgerFi, Smash Burger were becoming really popular, and we thought that was going to be a perfect fit. It was a struggle for the first year, year and a half. For me, I had to sacrifice a lot. I put in a lot of hours, about 80, 90 hours a week. Sacrificed relationships, sacrificed going out with friends, grinding it out, just working literally every day from morning to night. I think sacrifice is the main thing for me, and busting your butt. Besides going through the whole war for a few years and being in refugee camps for a couple of years, the hardest year of my life was when my mentor, Nick Lausch, passed away. He took his own life. Also that year, my grandpa passed away from lung cancer. And that year, I was engaged and broke off my engagement. The first few weeks after Nick passed away, I really didn't do much. I came to work, very quiet, went back home, wasn't really eating, and was not expecting Nick, who had everything, seemed so happy, dealt with depression and ended up taking his own life. After the funeral, it really kind of hit me hard. I knew I had to get out of it, and I would go downhill if I didn't take care of myself, so I went to see my dietitian right away. Bodybuilding, at least at my level, is extremely strict and disciplined. I get up at 4 o'clock every morning to do my cardio, to eat, to work out. But also it helps me. I would say fitness was definitely my savior throughout everything. Mentorship was definitely a big part in my success. I would not be in the restaurant industry if it wasn't for Nick and if he didn't take me under his wing. He saw how hard I was willing to work. I didn't know the ins and outs. If I didn't have Nick take me under his wing, maybe I would have failed. To me, everything was worth it because we came here with nothing, and I knew that I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, that I wanted to have a business. I love the restaurant industry, and I'll work as hard as I have to make it successful even more. The American dream is still alive, but you have to, depends what you want to do with your life. Depends how much sacrifice you want to make and how much dedication you have. I think if my family can come here as refugees with $20, having staying in a refugee camp for 2 years, going through war, bouncing from village to village, and coming here without knowing anybody, slowly working their way up, I think anybody can do it as long as you're willing to work hard and sacrifice.